Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem. Please take your seats. Good morning and welcome distinguished guests, visitors, and media members. My name is Major Cory Bell. I'm the new Deputy Commander for South Florida, United States Army Corps of Engineers, Jacksonville District, and it's my pleasure to be here today as your Master of Ceremonies. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is honored to have you here today for the ribbon cutting marking the completion of construction for the Biscayne Bay Coastal Wetlands Structure 709 pump station. The 709 is the first of 5 pump stations to be completed along the L31 East Flowway. Each pump station will help rehydrate the coastal wetlands and reduce point source freshwater flows to Biscayne Bay and the Biscayne National Park. The Biscayne Bay Coastal Wetlands Project is one of 15 South Florida ecosystem restoration projects that have been completed or currently under construction this year, with many more in the planning and design phases. With record funding and momentum, it's a very exciting time to be involved with Everglades restoration. I'd like to recognize some of our guests who are here joining us for this celebration. Leah Patron is here on behalf of the U.S. Senator Mark Rubio's office. We are also happy to have Senator Irela Garcia and Representatives Jim Mooney and Elena Garcia with us today. The U.S. Department of Interior is represented by the Director of the Office of Everglades Initiatives, Mr. Adam Gilbert. We also have our partners with the state of Florida, Mr. Adam Blalock, the Deputy, Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Joining us today from the South Florida Water Management District are Executive Directors Drew Bartlett, Governor Board Members Charlie Martinez, Mr. Ron Bergeron, and Charlotte Roman. It is my honor to introduce the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Jacksonville District Commander, Colonel James Booth, to provide opening remarks.
Hey, thank you, Cory, and I appreciate you jumping in. Ladies and gentlemen, Cory just got back from a couple of years in Kuwait. Took about maybe a week with his family and came down here. And so we threw him right into the fire with all sorts of new names and right in front of everybody. He's doing a great job. Welcome on board, Cory. So, hey, we are so proud to have you all with us to celebrate the completion of the Biscayne Bay Coastal Wetlands S-709 pump station. The Biscayne Bay Coastal Wetlands Project was one of the key components in the restudy, or the Yellow Book, in 1999 that served as a basis for the Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan, or CERP, which was signed into law by Congress in 2000. At the very beginning of CERP, there was an acknowledgement of how important it was to restore the natural flows that historically moved from the central Everglades through the transverse glades to the east towards Biscayne Bay, in addition to increasing the flows south into Everglades National Park. For decades, parts of Biscayne Bay were too salty because they no longer receive the gradual freshwater flows across the coastal wetlands. Other areas were too fresh, as water was moved quickly toward the coast via canals like the one to my right, your left, where it was released to tide at narrowly restricted points. Now, because of various features of the Biscayne Bay Coastal Wetlands Project and as they come online, the slow gradual flow of clean fresh water across the coastal wetlands will once more nourish the incredible resources of Biscayne Bay and Biscayne National Park. The S-709 pump station is one more piece to the puzzle that we've all been working to put in place to help achieve our goals of Everglades restoration. I'd like to speak to the overall benefits of the Biscayne Bay Coastal Wetlands Project that will restore both coastal wetlands and estuarine environments. This project will redirect nearly 60% of the annual coastal structure discharges into fresh water and saltwater wetlands instead of the direct discharges to Biscayne Bay and Biscayne National Park. That's pretty significant. Rather than losing precious water to tide, we can use it when and where it is wanted and needed to the benefit of the environment. 190 acres of freshwater wetlands will be restored and benefit from this freshwater rehydration. The number of days these wetlands are hydrated will increase from 70 days to 200 days per year, which is another significant improvement. These high-functioning marshes will serve as critical habitat to prey fish as well as wading birds. And as it filters more slowly through the natural wetlands, the water that makes its way to the bay will be cleaner. This in turn will result in improved saltwater wetlands, oyster bars, submerged aquatic vegetation, and its associated plants and the number of animals. We expect to see an increase in the abundance of fish as well as the abundance and diversity of seagrasses. And we also anticipate improved habitat for alligators and juvenile crocodiles. This project will help us improve the quality, quantity, timing, and distribution of water to restore Biscayne Bay and reach our ultimate goal of getting the water right. We believe that building Everglades restoration projects also builds resiliency in South Florida. So what else do we have to look forward to? I think the simple answer to that question is the continued engagement with our partners and the momentum that we have in restoring the Everglades. We know that everyone here has been heavily engaged with all of our South Florida restoration projects, and we appreciate the time, effort, expertise, and local knowledge that you have provided to make our projects the best that they absolutely can be. The Biscayne Bay and Southeastern Everglades Ecosystem Restoration Project, also known as BBCER, is scheduled to go to Congress for consideration in the Water Resources Development Act in 2026. Just as the Biscayne Bay Coastal Wetlands Phase 1 construction is winding down, the Biscayne Bay and Southeastern Everglades project will be positioned to begin the next phase of restoration after this one. We have much to look forward to and thank everyone for celebrating this project with us today. And I want to go through a couple of acknowledgments and thanks. To the Jacksonville District team, either our planners, our engineers, our project managers, our construction experts, or our administrative professionals and support staff that have helped us get this project to completion today. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank the contractor of this project, Kiewit Infrastructure South Company, for their efforts to build the facility. We appreciate everyone in Miami-Dade County, which has the vision to lead the way in resiliency efforts. And we at the Army Corps of Engineers see Everglades restoration as one of those key resiliency strategies. I want to thank the South Florida Water Management District, particularly Executive Director Drew Bartlett, and the governing board members, as well as their team that are here with us today as we partner on this broader program. We recently had the opportunity to do a groundbreaking ceremony on the Cutler Wetlands component of this project as well, just a few months back. And we were absolutely honored to be there as part of the team invited by the district. Much of our recent progress is due to a firm and ongoing commitment to the Everglades restoration, in both at the state level by South Florida Water Management District, but also at the federal level represented by Jacksonville District, and our strong partnership that has been going on for many, many decades. And I believe it's absolutely unique to the nation, the partnership between Jacksonville District and the South Florida Water Management District. So I'll just close by saying, stick with us. Please continue your advocacy for Everglades restoration in these projects, and let's all work together to keep Everglades restoration on track. Thank you so much for being here today.
I also want to apologize. I'd like to represent Representative Juan Juarez is in attendance today, so please join me in a round of applause for that. It is my honor to extend a warm welcome to Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniella Levine Cava. I welcome Mayor Levine Cava.
Great with the names. You're doing it. Okay. All right, let's try this hat. My new appointment as representative to the National Park System Advisory Board. And we're here in this beautiful Biscayne National Park. Whoa. And very, very proud to join our Superintendent, Bene. Thank you so much for hosting us, Penny. Well, thank you, Colonel Booth, for your warm and inspiring comments, and many thanks have been given and well-deserved for so many who've made today possible. I feel so proud as Mayor of Miami-Dade County to be able to preside over the completion of some of these critical projects that have been so long in the making. And I just got to push the button and open the pump, and the water is flowing. So I'm otherwise known as the Water Warrior, and I want to thank Everglades Foundation for making that official. That was self-proclaimed, but thank you so much, Eric, for making an honest woman out of me. And truly, it is everything about the water. So here we are, beautiful Biscayne Bay. I personally would like to go sailing, very robust wind today, or kayaking in the mangroves, but we're here because we need to protect this precious resource, and this is exactly what this project is going to do. So it's a great day for Biscayne Bay, it's a great day for the Everglades, it's a great day for our residents, it's a great day for our nation. Thank you, everybody. So we're opening, we're opening the S-709 pump station. I had a chance to see it flow and go take a good look at it. Beautiful looking water, and we know that it's going to be dispersed throughout the coastal wetlands, restoring them to the health that they need, cleaning it, and eventually heading to our coastline and bringing fresh water that we so badly need for the health of our bay. And we all know that our environment is our economy, and nothing more so than Biscayne Bay and our fresh waters. We need to protect them and Everglades, which is the source of our fresh drinking water, and Everglades' finest. We all drink it, and we're proud to do so. So we're partnering here with our federal partners, our state, our local partners, and I just want to say we're all about the Army Corps. Okay? We have the most projects of any place in the nation, as I understand it. And we just got a go on our Back Bay program moving forward. So very, very proud and happy and grateful for everyone's collaboration to move forward on that critical effort to protect us from storm surge as well. So this is going to protect us from saltwater intrusion. It's going to create increase our resiliency against sea level rise, particularly here in the southern end of the county, and it's going to restore the important wetland ecosystem that is so important for our bay. It's going to rehydrate the wetlands. It's roughly 1,700 acres of wetlands that will be restored, and natural salinities along 3 miles of the shoreline. So for the past 2 decades, the county has been deeply invested and committed to moving these projects forward, and I want to especially thank Commissioner of District 8, Danielle Cohen Higgins, for being our champion. So when I was commissioner, these things were all a dream, and now they are coming true. Thank you, Commissioner. She is chairing our task force on the Bay, and she's serving as a representative on our state commission, and she has truly been a fearless leader in the fight to protect our waters and our lands. Thank you. Thank you so much. And of course to our Chief Bay Officer, the inimitable Irela Bague, who's been doing this since childhood. So I know, Irela, today is a very, very proud moment for you as you see all of these projects come to life. So we also want to thank Commissioner Renee Garcia He represents us on the South Florida Ecosystem Restoration Task Force, supported by Adam Gelber. Thank you so much. And thank you to our commissioner and to our Cutler Bay leaders who are here, which is so great because Cutler Bay, the adjoining community north, is at the forefront of environmental protection and makes us so proud for everything that we do. So finally, I want to thank all of our county team who've done so much in partnership with the Corps and the Water Management District and others. That's our RER, Regulatory and Economic Resources, DERM, Division of Environmental Resource Management, WASD, our Water and Sewer Department, and our Public Works Department. All of them working together with the Everglades Foundation, Audubon of Florida, and so many others, and working together, collaborating, we can truly protect and restore the blue heart of Miami-Dade County, our bay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor Levine Cava, for your public service and laser-sharp focus on building a more resilient Miami-Dade County. Miami-Dade County Commissioner Danielle Cohen Higgins is a chairwoman for the Biscayne Bay Watershed Management Advisory Board and a member of the state's Biscayne Bay Commission. Please welcome Commissioner Cohen Higgins.
Good morning, everyone. I want to take a moment to appreciate the backdrop behind me, to acknowledge how beautiful it is and the breeze that it's bringing to all of us, because really what's behind me is what this is all about. And, you know, I drive my two kids to school every morning, and we pass by the flow station at the Deering Estate, and sometimes the water is very low and sometimes the water is very high, and my kids will ask me, and I'll take the time to explain to them as best I can why the water is low sometimes and why the water is high sometimes. And I mention that because education is such an important part of this. I think everyone that is here, that is a stakeholder in these important projects, the Army Corps of Engineers, Colonel Booth, our Madam Mayor, our state and federal partners, because really this is such an important project as it pertains to the resiliency of our state and really protecting the future for our young people. We're seeing young people stand up more and more to voice their opinions and their advocacy about protecting our natural resources, and this project is directly in line with all of it. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you once again, and you can rely on me as your county partner along with Mayor Cava and my colleagues to do everything we can to continue to protect and preserve Biscayne Bay. I truly believe that to love your country is to love the land that it's built on. Thank you all for loving your country. Thank you all for loving this beautiful land. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Charlie Martinez represents Miami-Dade County on the governing board for South Florida Water Management District and our part in the Everglades Restoration and managing the Central and Southern Florida projects. Please welcome me in joining Mr. Martinez.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank my fellow board members that made it out here today, Charlotte Roman and Alligator Ron. Thank you for always being here to support us. And of course, thank you to the Army Corps. They're such an important partner for us to have. Colonel Booth, of course, Colonel Polk, who's retired and is in greener pastures these days. We're going to miss Colonel Polk. But Major Bell has come in and he has taken the baton and he's running with it. Our board in the South Florida Water Management District, we love ribbon cuttings. In the 4+ years that Governor DeSantis started our board, this is 61, 62. I'm not sure how many ribbon cuttings now we've done. But we do them for a reason. We do them because we want to maintain laser focus on what is ahead. So every time we clear a hurdle, we go on to the next one and we know what's ahead. So these ribbon cuttings are very, very important for us. As was mentioned before, it was in 2012, 11 years ago, we finished the Deering Bay Estate. That was the first part of the BBCW. It's 3 components. That one, we did Cutler Wetlands, which we just did a groundbreaking for like a month ago. and then the L31 flowway is coming to a finish. So for me, this is very, very personal. As many of you have heard me before, I was born and grew up here in Miami. I grew up in Biscayne Bay, and whether it was my dad teaching me how to catch a lobster or diving off of the homes in Stiltsville and running away from the Marine Patrol, it's very, very important to me. Today, my girls go out boating to Elliott Key or to Nixon Beach. Mind you, they probably have no idea why it's called Nixon Beach or who Nixon is, but it's very important. Biscayne Bay is the liquid heart of Miami-Dade County. It affects everything that we do, whether it's recreational, whether it's the economy, whether it's the impact on the resiliency for sea level rise that our mayor is working so hard on. It is very, very important to us. I obviously want to thank Governor Ron DeSantis because he has made it possible to provide all the resources and money. No governor has ever done what Governor DeSantis has done for us, and I think it's very important to thank him. Obviously, I want to thank the Florida legislature for their generous support, Senator Garcia, Representative Garcia, and Representative Mooney for making sure that our voices are heard in Tallahassee. Thank you, Drew, and thank you to all the men and women in South Florida Water Management District. I've spent now 4+ years working with them, and this agency is beyond comprehension. You never know government can work so well and so efficiently. So, Drew, to you and your team, congratulations. And of course, thank you to Miami-Dade County, Mayor Cava, Commissioner Higgins. It's not very often you can say this, but let me tell you, we are in great hands. These two women are the pillars of leadership in this county. And unfortunately, the mayor has a term limit, so she'll get elected again. But then after that, we have to go on. But I was thinking, Daniella, maybe you could just hand the baton over to 2 chairs over after that happens. Okay, but we won't talk about that right now. So anyways, thank you all for being here. I truly believe that we have incredible momentum when it comes to Everglades restoration, improving our water quality, and protecting the natural resources that make our county the best county. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Penelope Bague is the Superintendent for Biscayne Bay National Park. Please welcome Superintendent Bague.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Biscayne National Park. It is wonderful to see you here today at the ribbon cutting event for S-709 Pump Station. It is with excitement that we are here to witness the completion of the first Biscayne Bay Coastal Wetland Project directly adjacent to Biscayne National Park. This project was possible due to the partnerships between the South Florida Water Management District, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and Miami-Dade County. We also want to thank the Seminole Tribe of Florida and the Miccosukee Tribe of Indians of Florida for their continued support of Everglades restoration in Biscayne Bay. We express gratitude to the National Park Service's South Florida Natural Resource Center participation with their continued technical expertise in hydrological and water quality modeling, along with their ecological analysis and help to make informed decisions. And finally, a heartfelt thank you to our elected officials and NGO partners such as CAP with the National Park Conservation Association who continue to support this initiative. With the S-709 pump station, we are getting nearer to the 5 objectives of redistributing freshwater flow to minimize point source discharges, reestablishing shoreline nurseries, restoring coastal habitats, restoring appropriate salinity levels, and providing improved freshwater quality, quantity, timing, and distribution to Biscayne Bay and Biscayne National Park. Thank you all for your continued collaborative work towards restoring the ecosystem of the Bay, which benefits your national park, public health and safety, and the economy in South Florida. When we achieve a truly healthy, functioning ecosystem, Biscayne Bay will continue to benefit all as a source of economic prosperity and vitality and a place of great recreational, educational, and spiritual value. This will be true for those who are local or visitors from across the nation or even the world. Finally, before I close, I invite you to visit the Biscayne National Park Visitor Center or take a walk on our jetty and enjoy Biscayne National Bay and the park. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks and for helping us host this great event. We appreciate you and your team's effort for making this event possible. Mr. Alan Blalock is the Deputy Secretary for the Ecosystems Restoration for the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Blalock.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here and get to work with such great partners as the South Florida Water Management District, Army Corps, Miami-Dade County, and the National Park Service. So on this particular project, my staff worked extensively on primarily the permitting phase, ensuring that maximum benefits of this project were realized. And as we've heard from various speakers, there have been significant impacts that are going to be represented from this project, from wetland restoration, water quality improvement, and of course the resilience benefits that it will provide as well. And over the last 3 years, each of the last 3 years, the governor has requested $20 million, and the legislature has provided those $20 million specifically for Biscayne Bay water quality improvement. And projects like these will help complement those and really start looking at the bay and getting water quality improvements and getting with additional habitat restoration and resiliency so we can continue to see improvements with the ecosystem of Biscayne Bay. And so we're just pleasure to be here and get to be a partnership in this endeavor, and thank all of you for your support and for the governor and legislature's support with providing funding and all the partnership that we get to do with Miami-Dade County on the various septic to sewer projects and resiliency projects, so we can really start to see those water quality improvements and the results of that in the health of the bay. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Blalock. Irela Bague is the Miami-Dade County's first Chief Bay Officer and focuses on water quality issues, policies, and appropriations related to the health and recovery of Biscayne Bay. Please welcome Ms. Bague.
Stand a little over here so you guys can see me behind the podium. It's always an issue. So as the mayor stated, this is a very personal and quite emotional day for me. Charlie, you spoke about Governor DeSantis, which we so appreciate the commitment he made. But for me, it started with Governor Jeb Bush appointing me to the South Florida Water Management District in 2003. It's been a long time coming, like I said, a few months back when we were down there kicking off another BBCW project. And I have to say that it takes community from the local, county, state, federal, and our environmental partners to really bring these projects to fruition. It takes a whole lot of work, hard work from our staff, from each of our agencies and respective organizations to get to this point. We're not there yet. We're almost there for phase 1. We still have BBCW phase 2 embedded in BBC. I'm going to keep saying that because it's a very important point to make, because moving water south is great, and moving water for southeast is even greater for Biscayne Bay. And so with that, I will use a couple of seconds of my time to be quiet and just have you all kind of take this in and listen. Thank you, muchas gracias, and merci.
Thank you for your service and ongoing engagement in the Everglades restoration, especially in Biscayne Bay coastal wetlands and the BBC projects. Chairman Nolan Valenstein is the Biscayne County Commissioner. Please, Chairman.
Thank you very much and good morning, and I'll be brief in my remarks, just saying thank you. As chairman of the Biscayne Bay Commission, on behalf of our commission, we can't say thank you enough, especially to our local delegation. Typically when you have a commission, you would set up, take a couple years to study, you'd have to prove your case, work on asking for an appropriation. It is such a blessing to live in a world where we can have a commission and have a legislative delegation that says, no, before you even ask, here's $20 million, get to work. Oh, before you even ask, here's another $20 million. And so that is testament. I think that only happens in Florida, and God bless the great state of Florida, where we can have a governor who's doing the same. And it's great to hear the governor talk about his vision for the environment and how committed he is to Florida's environment. And then he even jokes about it, saying, yeah, I thought I asked, I wasn't sure I was going to get that. And then I had a legislator and legislative delegation that said, yeah, we'll give that and we'll do even more. And then it's seeing this game every year now of what's the new number going to be? What's the new commitment to the environment going to be? Makes being on a commission and the members of our commission, including the commissioner, just a wonderful experience to have. And so that state commitment is next to none. And then locally with the mayor, you couldn't ask for a better team than the governor and the mayor on a front door like this to what is one of the nation's greatest cities of Miami-Dade. That's what brings folks here to Florida. And I know Penny knows that and does a better job than anyone educating folks about why we need to protect this resource, but still why we can have such a robust and vibrant community right here in South Florida. And that's what makes this state great. And lastly, I know Colonel Booth, you hit it on the head, that this is unique. What's happening here in Florida, the teamwork between DEP, South Florida, and the Corps is unique. To be able to see so much investment in green infrastructure, to be able to have so many vibrant communities next to protected areas, next to major restoration projects, again, with this as your view, will only happen in Florida. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairman Valenstein. Mr. Eric Eikenberg is the CEO of the Everglades Foundation and a long-term proponent of Everglades restoration. Please welcome Mr. Eric Eikenberg.
Thank you, Major. Good morning, everyone. As I was making my way south, the word persistence came to mind, and there's no greater example of persistence than those that fight for the Everglades and Biscayne Bay. And Irela, persistence is your middle name. You've kept this issue on the front burner. To my friends and colleagues, Kara Kapp and the National Parks Conservation Association, they too have been dogged on the approach to make sure that this particular project comes to fruition. And I have the privilege every day to look out on Biscayne Bay. As a resident of Palmetto Bay, I get to see, as Commissioner Cohen Higgins mentioned, Phase 1 and how that fresh water hydrates those mangroves along Old Cutler Road. But as we sit here and we reflect on another major moment in Everglades restoration, I want to take us back to 55 years ago, October the 18th, 1968, in the East Wing of the White House, where President Lyndon Johnson dedicated Biscayne National Monument. And in his remarks, he stated, as our population expands and our urban areas grow, Madam Mayor, don't we know that? It is not easy to preserve these untouched areas or to bring them into the public domain, such as the islands in Biscayne Bay. First of all, it takes great courage, it takes great vision, and it takes great effort, and it takes a lot of toughness and a great deal of ability and a knowledge of the public interest and the dedication to it. Lyndon Johnson's words in 1968 ring true for all of you under this tent today. And I think today on August the 22nd, which was the wedding anniversary of Clay and Emily Shaw, the author of the Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan in the U.S. Congress, along with Senator Bob Graham, laying out a vision, a generation following Lyndon Johnson, that generation laying out a vision to restore the River of Grass, putting a plan in place over a 30-year period, 68 projects, to not only from Shingle Creek south of Orlando through the Kissimmee River to Lake Okeechobee, to the 2 coastal estuaries, through the River of Grass that Marjorie Stoneman Douglas opined about in her eloquent 1947 book, down to Everglades National Park, to Biscayne Bay, and ultimately to Florida Bay. That is the vision and the courage and the toughness that's in each and every one of you. The characters and the skills that you bring each and every day is in allowing this to happen. And I have said it before, it is now this generation that has received the baton from previous. And now we're seeing the results. A project that was outlined in the Yellow Book, that was part of the original authorization of SERP, of the WRDA bill in 2000, then again a reauthorization in 2006. Here we are. On August 22nd, 2023, the third and final phase of the Biscayne Coastal Wetlands Project is now a reality. I salute each and every one of you. As Alligator Ron says, long live the Everglades, and may our children and our grandchildren experience it for generations to come. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Eikenberg. Ms. Kelly Cox is the Director of the Everglades Policy at Ottawa, Florida, and the Co-Chair of the Everglades Coalition. Please welcome Ms. Kelly Cox.
Good morning, everyone. Kelly Cox, Director of Everglades Policy with Audubon, Florida, and also co-chair of the Everglades Coalition, a coalition of nearly 60 different NGO groups working to restore and protect America's Everglades. And despite this win that we're having today, I want to just talk a little bit about this unprecedented heat that we've been having. It's hot out here, folks, right? I mean, my colleagues at the University of Miami have cataloged more than 30 days of record heat indices down here in Miami-Dade, and one of those reaching even 114 degrees Fahrenheit. And those heat levels have very serious ecological consequences, and we're starting to see that throughout our bays and in our national parks. We're seeing coral bleaching events. We are seeing isolated seagrass die-offs and fish kills. But if there is a silver lining to this event, it is in Northeast Florida Bay. And Audubon, Florida, and our colleagues at the Water Management District and in the National Park have been monitoring this area, and it seems that our seagrasses are hanging on. And they're hanging on because of a restored salinity regime, more balanced thanks to increased freshwater flow from Everglades restoration. And that is exactly what this project aims to do for Biscayne Bay, to give this ecosystem a chance at surviving and bouncing back from extreme events. And so I just want to call attention to that, because despite all of the challenges that we face together as a community and looking at the harm that these ecosystems are experiencing, and of course with the ever-looming threat of algae blooms hanging above us, this is what gives us hope. This is what gives us a path forward. And I just wanted to call attention to that. This is a really important milestone for Biscayne Bay today. So many people in this tent have been working for decades on this issue. And we are committed together to ensuring that we're setting the framework so that the ecosystems can bounce back. We know that these projects work. We're seeing it in real time in Florida Bay, and we're confident that we'll see the same thing here in Biscayne Bay as well. And we can't stop now. We have historic levels of state and federal funding, and we must continue to capitalize on our momentum and our opportunities to improve conditions to build that resilience for these ecosystems. So despite the challenges that we all face together, I think we've got an important learning opportunity here. Good science-based policy and collective action will build resilience and give our ecosystems a fighting chance. It's our charge to make that happen, and I'm confident that we will. And so with that, I want to thank the Army Corps, the Water Management District, Miami-Dade County, and our lovely mayor, and all the folks in this room, including our incredible community of NGO advocates and organizations that have worked tirelessly on this effort for many, many years to get us to this point today. Thank you for your work. Today's celebration is thanks to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cox, especially for your engagement on BBCR projects. At this time, I'd like to invite our guest speakers and everyone for joining us today. And at this time, we'll move to the ceremonial area to cut the ribbon.
I am here. I'm doing the countdown right here. Can everyone hear me? Okay. So everybody push your scissors to the ribbon. Open them up. Right here. And we're looking right here. So yeah, push your ribbon to the ribbon, please. Okay. Look up at me. Smile. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Can we tuck in a little bit closer? Just to here. Come on over. Sorry. Come on over. Come on. Smile at me. All right. 2 seconds, smile. And then we're going to count. I'm going to count to 3, and on 3, cut your ribbon, okay? All right, smile. 1, 2, 3.